Let me introduce our next speaker, Mr. Teow Boon Keong from ViTrox College, Malaysia. Mr. Teow is a lecturer at ViTrox College, teaching mathematics to engineering and computer science students. His research is in numerical analysis, studying polynomial approximation and solving differential equations using orthogonal polynomials. Apart from numerical analysis, he's also interested in statistical analysis, data analytics, and calculus. Most of his studies are on the computational aspects of mathematics. Mr. Teow, welcome. The floor is yours.
Right. So thank you to the moderator of the conference. So first of all, let me share my screen. Okay. So yeah, first of all, a very good day to Professor Dr. Muhammad Ihas, Director of UPN Veteran Yogyakarta, distinguished guests, professors, lecturers, fellow innovators, and also ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, we often talk about the green economy, which is a concept that is in the, okay, there's a concept in the sky, okay, which every one of us actually strive to achieve. So today I would like to present a new perspective on the green economy concept as a system. So which is the title that is AI in private and public sectors, a proposal of a framework. So like any system, okay, for this framework, it actually needs idea and also an architecture. Yeah, so my name is Teow Boon Keong from ViTrox College, and today we are going to talk about this in three different perspectives, okay, in which including artificial intelligence or AI, then technology, and also the accounting itself. Yeah. So in the next 20-minute presentation, I would like to first of all, introduce the background of AI in green economy, specifically in Malaysia perspective. And then I will also try to link AI and technology into a smart management framework. So this is in terms of the corporate itself, and then to relate them to the real cases that Malaysia companies are having for the moment. Yeah, and then I will also share my thoughts basically on the framework or the steps that the government can take in terms of the government or public sector itself. So we will see the collaboration with how can corporate and the public, they can cooperate with each other to reach the sustainability goals in this green economy. So looking back into Malaysia, so we actually have a Madani economy framework that being introduced in 2017. So this framework actually suggests a move from the conventional concept economy of production, which here we are making the things as cheap as possible, and we are talking about linear consumption. So basically, it is on the mass manufacturing and is on the depletion of the resources. Yeah, here the economy of production doesn't count into sustainability, and it is mainly focusing on how we can reduce the cost of manufacturing to achieve a higher output. Yeah, so the shift from economy of production to economy of preservation. So it is a huge move for us to achieve the sustainability goals. So when we move to economy of the preservation, this is actually a circular economy in which we are practicing sustainable goals, and also we focus on the renewable resources. Yeah, so here instead of utilizing the resources, we are creating value to sustain the resources, and this is a big steps or important steps for us to achieve sustainability. So this framework focusing on the renewable resources in which are the solar energy and also the hydro-generated energy. So similarly, another plan, which is the new Industrial Master Plan or NIMP 2030. So they are one of the mission saying the push for the net zero. Here actually the government itself have set a target, which is they want to achieve 3,000 smart factories by 2030 to minimize the use of the logs and also the non-renewable resources. So from this convergence of the AI and also the green tech for the next 5 years, and we will approximate here that is 620,000 jobs in Malaysia will be directly affected by the convergence of this green technology itself. So in the line, sustainability has become the next industrial standard, not just a word that being mentioned by us from daily. So under this new policy and this new framework, there's a proposal to have two columns, which is the financial capital and the natural capital. So this financial capital is the conventional capital that we have in a company. Yeah, so this includes asset, liability, the equity, in which we measure from the monetary value without going through the environmental depression itself. So it excludes the environmental depression and the impact or the effect to the uh, environment. So instead of financial capital, there's one new terms we call as natural capital. So this natural capital is actually talking about environmental effect, and this includes the sustainability itself. And for a company to sustain, they need to balance in between financial capital and the natural capital for the sustainability itself. So if there's a failure to balance between these two, right? So they are actually taking on the obsolete management apart from the smart management that we have in this to achieve the sustainability goals itself. But there's a big problem here, or the big question mark on how we actually supposed to measure and how we going to balance in between both of these. Yeah, so this is a key for the modern management and also for the preservance of the environment. So actually, there's a smart manufacturing framework that being proposed by collaborating the smart manufacturing framework combined with the PDCA, that is the common terms in the management. So this can be actually done in a corporate or in the industry level. Okay, so if you look into this flow chart, we are following the PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, like the management, but we combine with the sustainability goals along the execution and the monitoring process. Yeah, so following this PDCA, right, the organization first in the planning stage, they can actually identify a standard. Yeah, in which this standard it is also part of the management, but need to abide by the standard that being set by the government and also by the industry. So these standards have to be aligned with the accepted practices and also the policies for each of the material utilized. And it is actually proposed to have this kind of the functions in accountant and also the person in charge for the environment, the social and governance or ESG. So by collaborating the government policy of framework alignment into the standard that being set, especially on the material utilization, so this standard can be followed by the corporate, and for each of the material utilized, we can actually control and we can have a standard for them so that the corporate can execute and measure it after they collaborate the AI or technology into their system. So after planning, so here it comes to the second stage, which is on the do. So for the do itself, right, the corporate can actually establish a database system. So this database system, apart from record the basic financial costs, they can also record the environmental costs. So this cost including the water and including all the resources that are actually taking. Okay, the water, the logs, and the habitat for each of the material that being utilized. So this part or this is database system actually have to follow the standard that being set earlier during the planning stage. So here is the place where technology and AI can be incorporated into the IoT sensors and also the smart meters on the factory floor. So here, in apart from the have a worker that read the meter um, manually. So they are actually we can have a AI algorithm that monitor the energy spikes in the real time. So here, the standard itself, right, is very important because the floor, the manufacturing floor have to use the standard that being set by during the planning stage, so that they can establish a database to record and to store the environmental costs, so that this can be displayed in the third page during the third steps during the checking step, in which you verify whether the real costs have following the standard that being set. So the smart monitoring dashboard is very important. So apart from taking the original or the conventional monitoring dashboard, so the AI can be incorporated into this smart monitoring dashboard. And from here, when the manager actually looking in the screen, they can look into the carbon cost that being put here. So if there's a warning that cost exceed the standard, then the warning will be initiated by the monitoring dashboard, so that the R&D following, they need only to focus on the sustainable innovation apart from the new innovation that we normally have. So apart from taking on the project idea, so the R&D should also take into the sustainability perspective during their innovation. So from here, the AI will actually monitor via this smart monitoring dashboard. And finally, after we getting all the smart monitoring dashboard, so their improvement can be suggested by the AI through the dashboard as well. So this can be achieved using the machine learning that enables the data prediction. And from here, there will be a better environment cost management, since from the perspective itself, the factory or the company can check whether the resources that being utilized actually following the standard being set. So if there's a too strict standard or being a too lenient, we say too lenient standard, then the cycle now will go back to the original planning stage, in which they have to identify and they have to modify the standard that being set in the industry level. So that's why here we call this is a closed loop economy in terms of the manufacturing or the corporate side itself. So one good thing about this, whenever later, like for example, when government sectors or the Bursa Malaysia, for example, requires the ESG report, then now the company can directly generate the report from the AI monitoring dashboard. And this dashboard can be used as a supporting evidence for them for their ESG report as well. So the combination of this technology and the accounting system actually can support the sustainability goal in terms of the smart sustainability concept itself. So what are the real cases that the Malaysia companies are now actually moving forward to the smart management framework? So first of all, like Sunway, Sunway Group actually have started to implement the internal carbon pricing in their closed loop ecosystem. So they started by setting the price at around 15 ringgit per ton of the carbon dioxide that being produced in their manufacturing floor. So each of the business unit, whenever this is a mall, it is a hotel, or it's a construction arm, as long as it's an operation base, each carbon dioxide they have released in the Sunway Group, they will set a price of the RM 15 ringgit per ton. So from here, they will check whether they have actually achieved the emission threshold. And if they exit, then there will be actually a fine that being put on their bonus pool. And this fine will be shifted into Central Green Fund. And the Central Green Fund itself is used for the sustainable investment when they invest in the solar panels that been built on their building, and also to upgrade the chillers. From here, it will actually reduce the use of the non-renewable energy, and it can be able to reduce the ton of the carbon dioxide that being emit in the process. Yeah, so in the end, it will reduce the emission and cost, and will go back to the monitoring itself. So from here, it form a closed loop ecosystem. And the second one is about Pantas, which is another group. So this is another group that directly cooperate with the Bank Negara Malaysia or the BNM to produce a tools for the small and medium enterprise or SME. So from there, it actually into the tools that provided free for them. Whereas for the big corporates, on the other hand, the tools is not provided for free, of course, but it is also act as at least as a tools that available for them to control their sustainability or the renewable energy that happening in their own manufacturing floor. So from here, they introduce a concept they call as the greening value change program. So they use AI again, and also the optical character recognition or the OCR to scan their fuel invoice. And from here, they can actually get to the data on the smart management itself that related to the sustainability. So how about the Malaysia government effort to support this? So in terms of the government support, the Malaysia government actually have introduced a green investment tax allowance or the GITA for the small and medium enterprise or the SME to transit from a conventional manufacturing to a greener technology manufacturing or the greener technology system. So they are actually sponsoring 100% investment allowance against the statutory income. They offset the statutory income when they invest in the smart monitoring system and also the energy efficient machinery. So both of these enable them to qualify for the green asset. Yeah, apart from that, also there's a 2 billion ringgit that being stuck in the Bank Negara's low carbon transition facility or LCTF that provide a low cost or the low financing rate borrowing for the SME to transit from the conventional corporation or the conventional system to the greener system following the sustainability goals set by the government. So this is a steps provided by the Malaysia government to leverage them and to help them to reduce the cost when they want to transit from a normal or the usual manufacturing to a smarter or the greener manufacturing itself. Okay, so this is in terms of the corporate and how government contribute to them. So now I would like to share another thought. So this thought is talking about how Malaysia government can work together with the individuals or the consumers, not from the corporate only. Okay, so in terms of the personal thought, okay, we have a UTC, which is we call an Urban Transformation Center that we set in Malaysia. In this Urban Transformation Center in Malaysia is actually a one-stop station that our people, which residents can go there to settle their passport, their license, or their taxes. So apart from this UTC, yeah, so we have also introduced a new app for the moment that is the MyGov app based on the Padu database that being set by Malaysia in the last year, and this MyGov apps is started a few weeks ago. Yeah, so the login of this MyGov is actually using my digital ID, which is a ID that the apps and also being introduced already by Malaysia government in the few months ago. So I actually have a TOF. So this TOF is actually we can transform a physical UTC into a digital UTC in which this digital UTC actually help for sustainability. So you can imagine that there's an integrated environment in which we can have AI being integrated into an interface. There is a chat-based ecosystem that is, instead of hiring expensive consultant, so the residents or the SME owner can actually directly go to the app and they can ask, I have 500 kg for plastic waste, for example. So how can I actually recycle this to claim the tax rebate? So this AI that act as a data hub not only give advice to them, but also propose some action they can do so that it able to reduce the environmental cost in their company. And for the individual itself, right? So we can actually record or have a proper record from the UTC or the digital UTC to show it in a dashboard. There is a green dashboard in a app, and this can be looked into it, and from the verification of the identity, it will also verify the contribution of of us into the sustainability. So this will ultimately make the smart management that is the green economy can be accessible not only to a corporate, not only to a company, but also to an individual or the consumers level. So in summary, there's a two part. Okay, basically in terms of company actions, the sustainability can be internalized within the company itself using the smart management framework. So this part is talking about PDCA in terms of the smart management itself to integrate natural capital into the system, and from there, it have the involvement of the AI technology and also the accounting in terms of the management. And this has been actually started by the Sunway and also the Pantas in the corporate itself. But of course, we hope to see this including in the more and more manufacturing. Yeah, and then including in my company, that is the ViTrox, right? We are actually also focused on the ESG, in which we score about 4.5 or 4.6 out of 5 from the Russia ESG rating last quarter. Yeah. So for the smart manufacturing itself, the smart management framework itself, this is still in the process of the idea generation. Yes, and then apart from that, in terms of the government policy, apart from these to boost the transition of the manufacturing level from the conventional economy into the greener economy, they can actually set a financial incentive like GITA or LCTF, not only to help them in terms of the deduction, in terms of tax deduction, but also to give them a low net financing cost for the borrowing. And this also can help the SME to transit from the conventional manufacturing into a greener manufacturing. And then for the resident itself, it can combine into a digital UTC that is achievable by all the residents, and from government, corporate, and individual. The combination of all of these, I believe, will be able to achieve a greener economy in the Malaysia perspective. Yeah. So that's also thank you. That's all about my keynote speaker sharing. And thank you for listening to all of this. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask in the chat box. And yeah, this is my email. If there's any collaboration needed, then feel free for the collaboration as well. So now I would like to pass back this session to our moderator. Thank you.
Mr. Teow, thank you very much for a very interesting presentation on the sustainability initiatives in Malaysia. If there are any questions, please have them ready for the Q&A session after all the presenters, after all our keynote speakers have finished. Thank you once again, Mr. Keong. Thank you.